That's the next question. How you think that this challenge that comes now, we can enumerate them and so on, but which one you would say, okay, this is the most difficult part now? I understand my problems. I have a bunch of alerts. What's the next step? What I have to do in order to smoothly treat my problems, let's say? Huh?
So here's what we're seeing many times, and I've seen many organizations go through the same cycle. Day one, you don't know what you have. You went, invested a tool. You had to buy an SEA because your head of DevOps told you that we must meet a SOC 2 or we have a PCI along the way. And these are the tools that we need to have in place. Cool. You roll them out. The auditor signed off. You're good to go. 3 months after, where everything is being rolled out, you end up with so many problems, and these are going back to your analogy, so many symptoms, so many problems, bad signals all the way from bad blood test to bad x-ray, goes everywhere. And now you're trying to question yourself, how should I even go and get on this mess, right? Because your boss will say, oh my God, we have 3,000 problems across our code base or across our dependencies. How should we go and tackle it? And this is where the pain starts, right? Because now, if I put myself in the shoes of that practitioner, I wouldn't say poor, but poor practitioner, he needs to go and figure out, all right, but let's go step back. What is our organization looks like? How many developers are working on that environment? How many business units? What are the business goals? Where are my critical assets, right? Like if I have 100 services, right? Not all of them are equally important when it comes to risk. Like in your mindset, you're starting to take a risk-based approach. I do like one pause. In my past, I've been like a QA manager, right? I've done automation and stuff like that. And there are so many bugs and quality bugs in your product. How many of them are important? What are the bugs that will be in your end-to-end flow that your users will meet? Because those are the ones that you need to prioritize first. So the understanding is that the people that are going to fix problems are developers. Developers don't have all the time to fix all the problems. So you need to help them to choose the most important problems that they need to go and fix first, right? For example, if your heart is not working, you won't then go and put a band on some injury that you got. So this is where it starts to get complex, because now you need to go and start and do some reconnaissance to understand how your environment looks like, where the risk, what are the most critical assets, and I guess this is the starting point.
Okay, cool. Simon, something on top of that?
Yeah. So I think Dan's touched on some great points there. So again, we in the earlier question took it's not just tooling that solves the problem, right? You need to look at the processes, and I think that's what obviously Dan was touching on there. And often those risk assessment, those AppSec processes today are often typically very manual, very repetitive, and they don't necessarily give the right visibility or context of the changes that might have been made. So we talk here at Appear a lot about context, the importance of context, but I think the point being is, it's not just the tooling, it's the processes. You need to look at it, I guess, with a wider lens, if you like, as to, business impact, things like that.
Devseccortes.